Hello and welcome. Another edition of the Coach's Corner. Each and every week, Coach Serrano and myself, we like to chat with college coaches, all levels, all divisions. And today, I am genuinely excited. Going back to my home turf, back when dinosaurs roamed the earth, I coached at a school called Becker College, located in Worcester, Massachusetts, and a neighboring school that we used to always play with and against with regard to fall scrimmages and obviously in-season games was Nichols College, located in the Webster-Dudley area of Massachusetts. And we're joined today by Tim Mayo, the head coach at Nichols College, the Bison of Nichols College. Coach, thank you so much for taking the time to join me today.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for the invite. Looking forward to this.
A lot of parents now are asking me to have Division III, Division II coaches, and I talked to Shankar the other day at SNU, Southern New Hampshire University, and I really wanted to get an opportunity in what I feel is the quintessential New England college experience, which is Nichols College. Talk a little bit about what makes Nichols so enticing for students, as well as the campus environment at Nichols.
Yeah, I mean it's Nichols College. It's a small school. There's about 1,000 to 1,200 kids on any given year. So it's super up close and personal. It's in a beautiful area, very country. We're up on a hill with a lot of wooded land around us, and all the buildings have been renovated in the past 10 to 12 years. So essentially, all the buildings are brand new. Facilities for athletics are through the roof for a small school. The next big build for us on campus is the baseball field. So we're getting an $8 million stadium put in. They just finished the cafeteria, so the baseball stadium is the next thing to go in. So we're really looking forward to that. But if you want a New England college experience in a beautiful setting where you can really get to know your professors really up close and personal, Nichols is definitely a school that offers that. And they essentially, we're a business school for the most part, and that's what we excel in. Any area of business.
So now, formerly, when I was coaching, it was the old Commonwealth Conference. Now, which is the Conference of New England.
Yep.
And what I would love for families and athletes to understand is, if you take a peek at the upcoming Division III poll, preseason poll, within the top 25, you're going to see two schools, Salve Regina and Endicott, which is in your conference. And I would love for you to kind of discuss the caliber of play. When parents and athletes think, Division I, Division III baseball is extremely talented. It takes a lot to get between the lines. But talk about week in and week out, you're playing some of the best teams, not only in New England, but throughout the country.
Yeah, I mean, I have this conversation a lot with families, especially now that we're focusing with teams down south more than ever. It's Division III baseball in New England is some of the best baseball in the country in any division. There's guys being drafted out of teams and schools in our conference. My time here, I've gone through 6 seasons now. We've had 2 or 3 pro ball players, and 4 or 5 guys go on to play, at well-known Division I schools. It's college baseball is college baseball, no matter where you're at. Good baseball is good baseball, and we're seeing that with teams like Endicott and Salve, and we've shown glimpses of it at times as well in the past few years. And it's the big time schools are coming to us and looking for good players, like Brennan Hyde last year for us, All-American Gold Glove. He's now probably going to be in one of the first few slots in the batting order at Rutgers. Johnny Knox, which was Player of the Year of our league last year, another All-American. He's now one of the middle infielders at Quinnipiac. It is extremely good baseball, and a lot of kids, high school kids, especially out of New England, I don't think they really understand that Division III baseball is real, and it's hard to get in the lineup, and it's really hard to stay in the lineup, and it's really hard to excel.
So you touch on something that I really want parents to understand. I'm going to get back to the athletes that have gone on from Nichols to a Division I school, but you say you're looking outside, the greater New England area with regard to recruits. And I oftentimes I'm talking with parents from southern climates, whether that be throughout the Southeast and into the Southwest, Texas, et cetera. Talk a little bit about the exposure opportunity that these athletes from different parts of the country can find at a school like Nichols.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of positives to coming up to New England to play baseball. In regards to like baseball at Nichols, like if you look at our conference, all of our division teams are within 2 hours, where other parts of the country you might have to drive 10 hours to play a conference game. You might have to drive 6 hours. With us, you get to sleep in your own bed pretty much every away game, where you're not living the hotel life, which may sound cool at first, but it gets old fast. The just there's so much baseball up here. It's so saturated. And the battles you'll have day in, day out with opposing teams is fun, right? It's what you want. And that's definitely what you get up here in New England. The baseball is at a very high level right now.
And so, parents, one of the areas that I seldom delve into, but I feel it's really an integral part of Nichols, because having lived in that community for decades, having raised my sons in right nearby Auburn, Massachusetts, the power of the degree at Nichols is really a big deal, not only throughout the Northeast, but across the country. Talk a little bit about, I know you mentioned business as being one of the strengths in the majors at Nichols, but it's really an international type of degree, meaning if you're attending Nichols and you're a graduate, regardless of major, it's a really strong academic environment as well.
Yeah, especially we're a niche school in regards to really focusing on business. We have psychology, we have criminal justice, we have hospitality. All of those also have a business focus. So no matter what major you're taking here, you are going to get a core course load of business classes. But what we're really well known for is sport management and finance. So there's something called COSMA, which is the kind of like the governing body of all college sport management programs. And I was told I was born here, right? I wasn't around then, but that's what I'm being told. So that's pretty cool. So we're really well known for sport management. There's Nichols grads in almost all front offices in almost all pro sports around the country. And, those alumni are continually coming back to speak, continually mentoring and kind of guiding our current students and graduates to help them with their careers in the sport management field. So it's really a hotbed for that major.
So one of the dynamics now of Division III, really, I want to talk about it as a college baseball commonplace now. It used to be very rare for any level other than Division I NCAA or Division I JUCO to have developmental problems, teams, programs, and today, in light of the fact that the NCAA may or may not be going to 5 years of eligibility, as a way to continuously develop as a student athlete. Can you talk a little bit about Nichols has an interesting type of developmental program that not only are you doing things in the fall inter squad wise, but you're able to also play area teams that are in a similar situation to Nichols?
Yeah, so the development side of the house in our baseball program, that's what we sell to our players. So we don't have that $8 million stadium yet. We don't have the high budget like your top D1 teams in the nation. So we really sell and focus on, as a coaching staff and a program, on development, and the proof is our results, right? So we want our guys to leave here after 4 years as much better ball players and better people as well. And some of our products the past few years have been pretty impressive. Like Johnny Knox, Brendan Hyde, Kyle Bouchard. Those are 3 All-Americans here in the past 3 years. So what our focus is on a daily basis is getting guys better. We have a very large coaching staff that are here every single day. Though they're considered part-time, they're really not. So our guys have access to our coaches, 5 of us, pretty much 24/7, which is huge. And when they, have questions or need us to throw BP to them or whatever. we have a developmental budget. So our guys who aren't getting in the games consistently, we have money for them to play an additional 20 games. So not only are they getting their development in the weight room and in the practice setting, but they're also playing consistently. So everyone in our program plays baseball on a consistent basis in games, and that's not common at other places. So a budget to play an additional 20, developmental games or JV games, if you want to call it that, is a huge advantage in developing our players. There's 3 of our starters this year that their first year and even part of their second year, they didn't step foot on the varsity field. So it's almost like a minor league, major league system where we have guys that are good. We just need to get them a little bit better, and then they get their chance.
So obviously, we're talking about an $8 million baseball stadium facility that'll obviously be the apple and the envy of everybody within the greater New England area. Well, let's talk about financial aid. Parents get hung up. Oh, there's no scholarships at Division III, and I think parents need to understand that financial aid packages, whether they be merit, presidential, Pell Grants, etc., Nichols can be affordable if you are using the right avenues. But can you discuss some of your financial aid packages or opportunities that are available?
Yeah, Nichols has some. So this is the 5th school that I've been at, and Nichols has the best packages that I've seen. Lately, our guys have the option of living on campus or off campus, and the guys who have been choosing to live off campus to maybe save a little money and really drive that price tag down have been paying under $9,000 a year to go here, which is tremendous. That rivals junior colleges. So whenever I hear a family or a player, say, "No, I want to go to JUCO because of the expense," it's that you're going to pay the same here as a JUCO. If you're choosing to live on campus, you obviously have to pay for the housing and the food. But Nichols does a really good job with merit packages. So, if you have a 3.5 or higher, they're giving you $26,000 a year to go here. So that's over $100,000 over 4 years that you don't have to pay. Then you add on visit grants. So if you come and visit Nichols College, which you would do anyways if you're interested in checking it out, they give you $3,000 a year just for a visit grant. If you happen to live west of the Mississippi, they give you $5,000 a year because of your location. If you live out of region, they give you a travel grant, which is a one-time thing. But they really do a good job of giving you options to drive the price tag down. And ultimately, the player and the family, it's up to them, right? It's kind of like pick and choose what you want. All right, we can pay less, but you have to give up the housing or give up the full meal plan. But we can get that price tag to $5,000 to $8,000 a year if the player is willing to work with it.
So another question that I always get, and you and I had discussed this prior to us going live here. We in the New England area, yep, there's snow. Yes, it's cold. It tends to be colder a little later into the spring, but as many programs do now, you go down south to Texas, of all places, for a southern trip. Talk about that from a bonding perspective, but more importantly, the opportunity for the team to be able to be in that warmer climate and competing against teams from all over the country when you go your southern trip.
Yeah, so back in the day, and I guess we'll define that. Back in my day, so back
my day.
Coaching college ball around 08, 09 when I first started out at a college. There weren't as many turf fields around up here, so going down south was a necessity. You had to do it. With all the turf fields around these days, it's not so much a necessity anymore, but it's more of a luxury. But what we've kind of done is we've beefed up our schedule. We beefed up our strength of schedule. In 2022, we were the number 1 strength of schedule for, I believe, 5 or 6 weeks. So what we were doing, where we were targeting, who's really good, who's good outside of New England in the Northeast, and let's go play them. Let's go see how we match up. And even if we get our butts kicked, it's going to be good for us, right? We now know, okay, that's what that looks like, and this is what we have to get to. So what we've been doing with our southern trips is, because it's not an absolute necessity, we've been just targeting really good clubs and using it as a way to go kind of, see what we got that year. And also spend time with our teammates in a warm climate. Our bodies are going to feel better. Our arms are going to feel better. So it's a really good team experience for our guys, and it's a good way to, go match up against some of the top teams in the nation. Like this year, we're going to play Trinity, Texas, Southwestern, and then we're going to take a nice 8-hour bus ride and play Hendrix out in Arkansas. So, all three of those clubs are good, and we're looking forward to the challenge. Last year when we went down to Texas, we stayed in a converted horse stable. So the entire team was under one roof. There's a really long building. The rooms are all the barn sliding doors, which used to be the horse stables, and that was one of the best trips I've ever been a part of because everyone was under one roof. You weren't in separate hotel rooms. You were just together the whole time. So really great experiences for our guys. They really, get a chance to get to know each other and bond and, hang out essentially in nicer weather. So, yeah, that's kind of how we've been approaching our spring trips, as a chance to really get out there and beef up our strength of schedule.
So a lot of times when we're, Coach Serrano and myself, we're talking to coaches, we always ask them to share with parents and athletes the talent level that you're looking for and evaluating. Meaning, what are some of the metrics that kind of capture your eye as far as foot speed, arm strength, hitting, that it takes to be a student athlete at Nichols?
Yeah. So the type of guys that we go after, and this goes back to my belief that college baseball is college baseball, or
Right.
good college baseball is good college baseball, no matter where you go. We're going after the same guys that Quinnipiac's going after, that like other mid-major D1s are going after, essentially. And we're going after those guys pretty aggressively with what we have to offer. So the types of players that we're looking for essentially the best of the best. Because in order to play here and play against the type of caliber player we're facing on a daily basis, you have to be really good. But also understanding that we're not going to get a lot of those guys, right? Because we don't have NIL money. We don't have athletic scholarships. So it's going to be a little bit harder for us. We're looking for the guy that maybe has, really good foot speed, or, maybe a pitcher that just has a really, really good changeup where now we can teach him velocity. And, we're using our imagination a lot of the time. Like, all right, I see where this kid's at right now. I really like, how he throws his changeup. What is he going to look like after 2 years of a college meal plan and 2 years of a college weight training program?
Bingo. Right.
So we got to use our imagination. If there's something that we like about the kid, he doesn't have to be a 5-tool player. I have to say, all right, can I help this kid get better? Does he have the tools where he could be a potential guy for us? And then if the answer is yes, then we'll recruit him. But in regards to like velocity for pitchers, some of our best arms have been 78. Some of our best arms have been 91. Every team in New England in Division III is going to have at least 1 to 3 guys north of 90, sometimes more. It's really just looking for athletes, looking for guys that want to get better. I think that's the main thing here. We need guys that love getting better at this game.
So as a prospective student athlete that may be out of the general New England area, how do you generally go about evaluating them? Do they come to camps? Do you like them to contact you via social media with some video? How would a prospective student athlete reach out to you or your staff at Nichols College?
Yeah, so really, whatever you got, throw it at us. So if you have social media, get it to us. If you have, an NCSA or something like that, get it to us. Coming to camp, I preach this all the time. Coming to camps is the best thing that a high school player can do, because we're going to focus on those guys more. Because if a player invests his time and maybe a little bit of money to get here, to come to one of our camps, like, I'm honored for that. So we're going to focus on that player because he's shown the actual interest in us. I could go chase kids from wherever, through Twitter or whatever, and for, all the time. But I'd rather focus on the kid who's actually showing interest in our program and our school, because I think that, it's a better fit that way. But yeah, I mean, get to our camps, get us video, especially if you're out of the region. The more video, the better. If you're coming to visit Nichols from Texas or Florida or Cali, and you're putting that much effort and time and that investment, like, I'm going to pay attention to you. So those are the best things you could do, I think.
Now, parents, I want you to understand, having grown up and lived in the greater Central Mass area since high school and raising my boys in that area, I can absolutely 1,000% tell you it is well worth your time to do some due diligence with regard to Nichols College, not because Coach Mayo is joining us today. The campus. I went there as a kid in high school for boys state, which is something that the education system does in Massachusetts. But from a campus perspective, how's this? Joe Namath for decades. Joe Namath of the Jets, Hall of Fame quarterback, used to have a football camp every year at Nichols College. So, it's just not me speaking. It's, somebody of that ilk and caliber. So it's well worth your time to take a deep dive into Nichols College. In fact, this year, the Baseball Blue Book is going to be doing a segment called Where's Walter? And I can promise you, I will be at a Nichols game. I strongly encourage you, if you live in the greater New England area, we're promoting, go see a college game. Go watch a Nichols. If you can get to the Endicott series, which I believe, Timmy, is in early March or early April.
Yeah, that's our first conference series. It's at home this year, which is a good thing. And it's right after we get back from spring break. I believe it's the third Saturday in March.
Yeah, I will be there. I'm giving you a heads up in advance. I am going to that series. I'll be there for all 3 games. I believe one day is a doubleheader. Is one day a doubleheader?
Yeah, Saturday. Saturday's a doubleheader.
So, I'll have all kinds of upcoming announcements for something like that. But I strongly encourage you, if you're going to pick a game in New England, go see Nichols versus Endicott at Nichols. Special kind of campus. You'll absolutely fall in love with it. And Tim, are you a social media guy? Do you encourage people to interact with you or your staff via any of the social media platforms?
Absolutely. I'm on Facebook and Instagram. My assistants are all over Twitter. I'm not a Twitter guy. Yeah, by all means.
So parents, all of the information for Coach Mayo, all of his recruiting coordinators, camp information, obviously is available on the Blue Book app. So again, create your profile, share your profile with Nichols College. Going to have all of that in our description for the podcast, as well as the YouTube and other social media platforms. And Timmy, I want to say best of luck, not only for the upcoming 2025 season, but as well as the 26 season and beyond.
Thank you very much. This is awesome. I really appreciate you having me on.